Welcome back to another episode of The Hardcore Casual with your boy, Bass the Kid. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, relative, associate, enemy. As always, I don't care, just share it. I'm happy. Thanks for the views on the previous stuff, thanks for the interaction. Some interesting stuff's gone on this week with regards to Devin Haney and the Ring magazine board, so I figured let me give my thoughts on that. So without further ado, that's what I'm gonna do. So on Thursday, I believe it was, or Wednesday, the new pound for pound rankings from the Ring magazine came out, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe they read Alexander Usyk as number 1, Naoya Inoue at number 2, Terence Crawford at number 3, Errol Spence at number 4, Canelo Alvarez at number 5, Vasily Lomachenko at number 6, Dmitry Bivol at number 7, Josh Taylor at number 8, Jermell Charlo at number 9, and Artur Beterbiev at number 10. On the surface, I don't have an issue with who's in it, but there's 3 places I definitely wouldn't have those people there. First of all, Errol Spence. I would not have Errol Spence at number 4. He's not cleaned out a division yet. He's not become undisputed. He's not signified that he is the apex predator of his weight class, nor has he won belts in any other weights, gone up and down. He's stayed in the same weight class and has been on this so-called quest for undisputed for 6 years in one weight class. Hasn't beaten a who's who of names, so to my mind, no, he should not be number 4. Whether you have him on the list or not, it's your prerogative. I personally don't, that's me, but you know, I can maybe say I'm looking at that a little biasly, who knows, but he's definitely not number 4. Then you've got Vasily Lomachenko, free-weight world champion, unified in the lightweight division. I don't think he was unified in any of the others. I could be wrong, I might have to double check that. But has not held a title for a year and a half and hasn't boxed for the last year. But he's number 6. Okay. Personally, I think he's too high. At this stage, there's people with belts and other credentials above him, possible multi-weight champions, possible undisputed champions, and he's still number 6. You can't judge it on the eye test because he hasn't been in the ring for the last year. Everyone else on that list has been a lot more active than he has right now. So for him to be in that place, I have an issue with. Whether he should be on the list or not, I don't know. Maybe he should. But I feel like he should definitely be closer to the bottom at this stage. But he's there. Alright. The last place that I have a really big issue with is Jermell Charlo being number 9. Especially if Errol Spence is number 4. Okay, so Errol Spence is undefeated, Jermell Charlo suffered a loss. But Jermell Charlo has cleaned out his entire division. He beat every single other champion to become a champion. So I believe he went belt collecting for 4 belts in total. Yeah, because I don't think there was anyone he faced that was unified at the time when he faced him. I could be wrong. If I am, put it in the chat down below. But yeah, he collected the belts from each individual person. And subsequently, he dominated his division. So should that not make him the number 1 guy? Yeah. Therefore, should he not be higher? Considering that he done in, 3.5 years, what Errol Spence has not done in 6? I think there's an argument for that. I definitely think he should be higher up on that list. But the people that are on it, okay, fair enough. There's one person who's not happy about this at all, and that's Devin Haney. Now, Devin is undisputed at lightweight. The road to go into undisputed, you could say, maybe wasn't a true test, because ultimately, look, he beat George Kambosos, who held 3 of the major titles. He had the last piece. The problem is he never won his belt from a champion. He was elevated to that status and that championship because Vasily Lomachenko basically vacated the belt to take franchise status, and ultimately that's the reason why Devin Haney got the belt that way. Now, to be fair to him, he fought who was put in front of him afterwards, no complaints, beat everyone comprehensively. He goes on the road, 18-hour flight to Australia, and beats George Kambosos virtually every single round in his back garden. Takes all those belts off of him, and now he has to go back over to Australia in a month and a half's time to go and do the exact same thing again. Now he is upset with the Ring magazine and basically has said, you won't catch me with the belt before this next fight or after it. He's been in a back and forth with several of the Ring magazine staff, Dougie Fisher, Michael Montero, I think, who else has been involved in that? There's a couple others. I know Steve Kim, I think, had something to say about it. I know he doesn't necessarily work for the Ring, but he chimed in on it. And I know there was one other person whose name escapes me right now. But the point being, he's not happy. He's gone back and forth with Doug Fisher. He's like, look, ultimately, you guys never, if you wanted me, if you're telling me give back the belt now, then that means you never really wanted me to have it. Fisher's like, well, look, you just basically said you ain't gonna wear the belt. You're not going to acknowledge it. You're not going to wear it and represent it, so we can have it back. But then but Devin's also saying, look, ultimately, I won it. Like, there's nothing that says I have to display it, but it's mine. So yeah, I may not wear it. I'm not gonna let you guys have the honor of seeing me as that champion, but ultimately, like, it's mine. So cool, if you really want it, I give it back to you. That just means you didn't really want me to have it in the first place. So being a bit petulant. Now look, ultimately, here's my thoughts on it. Is he right to be upset and feel slighted? Yes, to a degree, because as we just said, Vasily Lomachenko is still on the list. Like, Devin Haney beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. Devin Haney is not only the undisputed lightweight champion and the Ring recognized lightweight champion, he's also the lineal lightweight champion right now, because that was Loma, went to Teofimo Lopez, went to George Kambosos, now Haney has it. So he does have a right to feel slighted, to say, look how I done it. I went to another man's backyard, 18-hour flight, and ripped the belts off of him in comprehensive fashion. So it wasn't a dodgy decision or anything like that. Like, I've taken that, and like it or love it, however you feel I went about it, I'm undisputed. But then no one really thought that George Kambosos was the best of the lightweights, to be fair. Most people thought that Vasily Lomachenko had an off night against Teofimo Lopez. Didn't really throw a punch in the first 6 rounds of the fight. So you could say, alright, it makes sense. Alright, cool. So you got that. But, again, Vasyl's inactive. He's had a couple of decent wins since rebounding, but again, he hasn't been fighting for the last year, nor should he have. No one's saying he should, but everyone around him has been a lot more active. So, do I personally think that Haney deserves a spot on the list? I'm gonna be honest, no, not yet. I feel like he should be in contention. Like, maybe they should show the top 15 and see where he is within that sense. But I feel like he needs another lightweight win, like a solid one. I'm not talking about the Kambosos rematch, because as I said, no one really thought Kambosos was the best of the best anyway. But if he beats Kambosos, and let's see, Ryan Garcia's gone, Teofimo Lopez is gone, I guess all you've got left after that is Teofimo Lopez and Tank Davis, since everyone wants to crown Tank Davis as this super mega star. So you've got those ones. I guess, yeah, you beat those, any one of those others, then you definitely have to go on the list at that point. But again, I feel like if Lomachenko's on the list based on skill levels, and I'm assuming that's the reason, because it can't be accolades at this point because he has none to his name, then I feel like he should probably be 9 or 10 right about now, because everyone else on the list at this point has belts. And apart from Errol Spence and Artur Beterbiev and Jamel Charlo, has had belts in multiple weight classes. Undisputed in some, unified in others, but they've, you know. So that's my thoughts on that. I feel bad for Haney, but I don't necessarily agree with the way he's handled it. But I do feel like those Ring Magazine rankings a lot of the time are all about, it's like favoritism. It's who they, because realistically, as far as I'm concerned, like if you're gonna have Lomachenko on those Ring Magazine rankings, like Chocolatito still needs to be there, as far as I'm concerned. Like, because if we're basing it on skills, he's one of the most skillful boxers in the world currently operating right now. But if he's not on there for whatever reasons you've deemed him not to be right to be on there, then maybe Lomachenko shouldn't be on there either. Maybe someone else is more deserving than him at this point. But hey, that's their business. Sticking on the topic of Devin Haney, his father Bill Haney has been on a little bit of a reckless crusade recently against Lomachenko. And I guess this again is off the back of the whole issue of him being on this pound for pound rankings, where essentially he's basically been on several stations and been like, look, why people saying he's back? He never went anywhere. Like, he never retired. He never stated he's on hiatus. He was just away for a bit. He had a break. He was vacationing. He also said he wasn't in the war actively participating. That could, I don't know. I don't really know. I never saw him on the battlefield, so I can't comment on that. He did say something that I feel was unnecessary. I understand why he said it, but in the current climate, especially after, Devin previously was talking on that "I'll never let a white boy beat me" stuff, and people got all up in his face about it. People in the UK more than anywhere else, because to be honest, in America they're used to that kind of chat, because everything is racial in some way, shape or form. But he's, his dad saying, oh well, when after he's had his tune up and everything, then boy, we're gonna beat white Jesus. And I guess in his mind, what he's basically saying is everyone hails up Lomachenko as this messiah. So, when we beat him, what have you got to praise now? Now, quite frankly, it's a little distasteful. Over here in the UK, we don't really do the colour politics too tough when it comes to boxing or other sports. I mean, sometimes, look, subtly it's there. There's certain times when you can clearly see you're being targeted due to your dominion, I should say. Let me get my words out. And then other times it's more undertone. Like over here, we don't really address it in that same way. If I'm gonna be real, so I get it from their perspective, but I did feel like it wasn't really something that needed to come out. Ultimately, it's just gonna, portray you as the villain, which I guess maybe you have to be at this point if you're gonna get yourself into the right siege mentality or get this over the line. I am hoping that after the Kambosos fight, if Devin does come through, we do see that fight, because Devin's wanted that fight for a long time. I guess now he's more thinking, well, I've got all the belts now. You didn't want to give me a shot back then, so why should I give you one now? If he's going to be on that flex, I get it, but that whole tit for tat stuff, if you're gonna be a champion, be a champion, because ultimately if you don't want to give him the shot, he's gonna end up being your mandatory anyway. Like the governing bodies are gonna do it, so you might as well just get it out of the way from now. So yeah, after the Kambosos fight, February, March time next year, get back in the ring one last time at lightweight. You know, if you defeat Lomachenko, move up to 140. You know, your body needs it right about now. Yeah, I mean, with regards to do I think he can beat Lomachenko, I don't know, because I haven't seen what Lomachenko's looking like over the last year. I mean, has he slowed down? Is the reflexes not as sharp? Does he still have the same type of work rate? If he does, then I feel like that fight's a very long night for Devin personally, but Devin is very well schooled, very switched on, and if he wants to just make it a boring outside fight, I think he can do that. So it'll be fun and interesting. But yeah, I don't necessarily like the way that the conversation's getting right now between them. But if it's just trash talk for the upcoming Impact, then hey, I guess all's fair in love and war, right? Maybe a poor choice of words, but hey. But anyway, look, let me leave that there. What you guys tell me what you think down below, and yeah, we'll see what we can all agree and what we can't agree on, I suppose. But as for always, thanks very much for watching. I guess right now that KSI sideshow is on. I'm not watching it clearly, I'm doing this, but good luck to him. I hope he wins both fights and does the Jake Paul thing, because I probably will tune into that. Anyway, for now, Hardcore Casual out.